Let me bang,
I
man.
do let you bang. Hey,
Let me bang you, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, nerds and virgins.
Go for Jeezy! No for Jeezy, people!
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roast podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the legend Don Frye. We got McCorkle coming a little late. Mayhem Miller is joining us too. I'm in Vegas doing comedy. Don is in his couch smoking a cigar. Right? Is that what's going on in Tucson, Arizona?
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
Man,
I can smoke inside. You can't.
how many cigars do you smoke a day?
Oh, hell. I don't know. Just one or two.
Oh, nice.
Just one.
Now, last time on the podcast last week, McCorkle said he was going to go to South America with you to get stem cell research, some kind of surgery or something. Is that
I don't know. I don't know if he got hold of the guy who's arranging it all, and they set it up. I don't know what happened. He hasn't told me. But, yeah, I gave him the name and number of the guy,
Now, what's wrong with you? What exactly hurts?
Fuck, what doesn't hurt, you dumbass? Jeez. Have you seen the photos of my back?
Yeah, but I also see you walking around telling me that you're ready to fight again and that you're moving and you're feeling good. So I don't know what to believe.
Well, I'm feeling good compared to what I did last year. I was in a wheelchair last year,
That's a good point.
And now then I transitioned to the cane and the walker to the cane, and now go from without the cane to with the cane to without it.
Got it. I mean, how long before you think you could actually go for a jog?
It's just going to depend on the bioaccelerator team.
Yeah, of course. Because
Right now.
I know that
Right now, it's not looking good.
I know that Riddick Bowe is
sorry.
back. I was saying Riddick Bowe is looking for an opponent. Riddick Bowe looks like he's in worse shape than you. So I honestly think this might be the fight, man.
Riddick Bowe was a great fucking champion, man. He was awesome.
He was. He is.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look like he's in peak condition. I'm just saying, Don Frye versus Riddick Bowe might be the fight that the fans want, But I don't want, if you could barely walk, we're not going to make that happen, obviously. So.
Well, if he could barely walk, maybe it'd be a good fight.
That would be.
They can strap us both to some dollies and wheel us into the middle of the ring, and stand us there and we'll just throw punches.
Yeah, I like you in that fight. I don't understand this whole thing right now. Have you seen this new slap fighting competition?
No.
Okay, it's just two guys.
I have not.
All right, it's just two guys at a table. Let me see if I can find it. And they just basically just slap each other until somebody falls, until somebody gets knocked out. I don't know. This is a sport that I can't really get into. There's a lot of things I can get into, but this is just I'll show you if I can see the compilation. Hold on. So we got this. All right, hold on. So, I don't even know how you even get good at this. What? Where do you even prepare for this? Hold on. Let me see if we got this.
Yeah, where do you train? Right.
Hold on. So
I think you train at a women's department store, with the sale going on.
So Don, can you see this?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what goes on.
Yeah.
This is what goes on in the.
What they do is slap the paint off each other's face.
like, and then the other guy slaps him. I don't understand. Like, I mean, at least with like fighting, you could put that in like a real life situation where if, you know, if I'm in a bar and if you use wrestling or, you know, boxing or judo, it could help me. I don't know what anyone's just going to let you slap them. It just doesn't, I don't see how that actually, I don't know.
Do you have to call him a hairy beast when you slap him?
What is that? What happens?
You bitch! You rotten bitch!
What, have you been slapped before and has someone called you a hairy beast? Is that what we're getting at?
Yes, it was. I don't want to talk about it. It was shameful, just horrible. I was in the third grade.
Oh,
I was in the third grade and emotionally scarred.
You were a hairy beast in the third grade?
Well, of course. You don't think, you know, I walked around, you know, without any hair.
No, I of course not. Of course not. Of course not. So I'm in Vegas. I did a show last night.
You think I waited until I was 12 years old to grow this stash? Jeez.
No, of course not. Of course not. Like when you were born, you slapped the doctor. That's how much of a man you were. They didn't give you a bottle. They gave
Damn
you
right.
Now, is there any way your Wi-Fi
gave me a bottle?
Is this the best place? Last week, your Wi-Fi was great. And then I watched a video of you talking to Dan Severn, and you're in a fucking studio. You have a big flat screen behind you. You have all the latest technology. Like, where the fuck is this during our show? And is this the best place that your Wi-Fi is? Is this the best?
Yes. I can go outside. Outside's probably better.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you. Obviously, you seem like you're very relaxed. I'm just happy that you're all right. So last week, I did a show last night in Vegas. Mayweather Sr. came. I'm friends with Jeff Mayweather, who actually was a really good fighter, a really good trainer. And he brought Floyd Sr., that guy. And McCorkle just came onto the podcast and then left. Like I saw him for 3 seconds. Like this is what I'm dealing with. It was pretty awesome.
He got the hint. Now I'm just waiting for you to get the hint, and this show will be mine.
Yo, Sean, how are you, man?
All right. How you doing? You did not pack it. You didn't pack a comb. I know you didn't pack a comb for your trip.
No, I did not pack a comb. My hair is all. This guy offered me a free haircut in Vegas. This barber wants me to go to his place.
That's how you usually know it's a good barber, when he's cutting for free.
Yeah.
Are you drinking milk, Sparkle? Is that milk?
No, that's coffee.
Oh, it's coffee. Oh.
It'd be great if it was milk.
I don't have no Sparkle. There you
go. So I did a show last night.
Hi, Sean.
What's up, buddy?
So I did a show last night. Mayweather came. Also, Ray Sefo came, who I love. Ray Sefo, who's the president of the PFL, fucking badass dude. And I was like, Ray, man, you know, obviously he's such a legend. He only has sex with his wife standing because he can't score on the ground.
Huh.
And then then Jay Haran came, who's the fucking in like 100 movies now. He's killing it. And I was like, Jay Haran, you know, you're a legend. You fought GSP, you fought Woodley. You didn't beat him, but you were there. Like these guys was just fucking. It was fun. But then there was two old like gay men, like older gay men. Like I'm talking about older than Fry. And I was like, so where did you guys meet? And they said a truck stop. They said a truck stop. They met at a truck, like literally met at a truck stop, which I've never. I was like, really? I thought that was just in like an urban legend. But they act, and now they're together. I go, what is this, like gay pretty woman? Like this is fucking. Then there was a couple in like wheelchairs. They were both in wheelchairs. And I'm like, what, did you bump into each other? Like, how did you two meet? And they said they actually met at a handicapped parking spot. They were actually there, and they were both looking for dope. So they were looking for drugs, and like this was the weirdest. Only in Vegas you get the fucking craziest shit. So,
That's how you know God's involved, when you meet your soulmate buying drugs. It's the will of God. So
are you okay? You seem like you're in a bad mood.
my back is just killing me, man. I just got an MRI yesterday. I'm just at my wit's end with these doctors, man. Everybody, speaking of drugs, everybody thinks you're a drug addict when you tell them your back hurts. So I'm thinking about going and getting stem cells. We'll talk to Don about it. He's going down there in Colombia. I got to do something, man. I know I'm really bringing the podcast down saying that.
No,
but
okay.
my back hurts, man.
No, we also have Mayhem Miller joining us in a little bit. So he's out of jail. He's doing very well. He's coaching. So I mean, Sean, this has been going on for 5-6 years. You actually
9 years.
9 years. You got the surgery that like fused it together, right? Didn't you get the?
No, I got a surgery that cut off part of the disc. I went to Germany and got that Regenikine, which, like, I go to that guy's place. He's such a world famous doctor, like David Hasselhoff, Jennifer Lopez, Mike Tyson. Everybody was famous there except me. And he actually told me he'd never seen anybody's inflammation and pain markers in their blood work as high as mine. And he said, basically, you probably just need to come back every 6 to 12 months. And I'm like, well, I guess it's not less than $20,000. I'm like, can I get like a punch card ticket, like every 5 times, a free one or something? But, those doctors like that in the stem cells, that's for rich people, man. And although I used to be rich, I was never that rich where you could drop 20, 30 grand a year, just like it doesn't even matter, so you can have a 50% pain reduction. So I have to do something. I was going to see if Mayhem would give me some tips on jail, because I'm about to start buying drugs off the street if I can't get a doctor to help me. So I'm about to go that route. So
Don't do that. I mean, Fry, when you back when you were on some painkillers back in your day, where did you buy them?
I got them for the doctor. You sign up for this pain clinic, and this pain clinic, I'm the youngest one there by 3 decades.
But you said you took way more than you should have. They were okay with giving you all of it?
Oh no, I took way more. I did that before I started going to this place. Once I started going to this place, they check your blood work, make sure you're not doing anything bad, then you have to sign this piece of paper swearing you will not buy drugs off the street or from any other doctor, or if somebody tells bad jokes in Vegas, shit like that.
and then they give you just enough pain medicine to keep you miserable 24 hours a day. That's the way it works. Like, just enough.
Right.
My doctor now, she gives me enough to kill a pain about 4 hours a day. And I told her, okay, what am I supposed to do the other 20 every day? She's like, well, I mean, it's just a limit I can do. I'm like, no, I looked it up. I know what the laws are. You're not giving me the limit. Well, I mean, we just have to be careful, I'm like, okay, so I gave up fighting, gave up everything. Like, I take 20 Advil a day because I'm a drug addict. Okay, that makes sense, So,
but I mean, they got to know that you're what, 300 pounds, 320?
Yeah, well, that's what I tell them. I said, like, my tolerance is like, they'll give the same dose to a 110-pound girl. Like, I said, my tolerance is through the roof. Even when I have surgery, it takes them. The one guy, the anesthesiologist last surgery I had, said, I've never seen anyone take this much anesthesia and be awake, because I wasn't knocked out yet. He goes, this is enough to put a horse out. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I said, I'm still completely awake. So please, because they've cut on me before when I wasn't asleep yet. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And the doctor's like, I thought you were out. I was like, no, I'm not out. Like, dude, what?
You're also the most stubborn guy. Remember, like, we went over to the Middle East, and those like dogs, how they have those tackle dogs, Don? And the dogs come, you like run, and then they tackle you if you have drugs. Someone bet the guy that the dog wouldn't tackle him, right?
Those guys got mad at me for making a joke. Like, I was saying that Zach Cummings wasn't afraid of dogs because he was. I said, he said he's not afraid of all of your dogs. And then they got real offended, I guess. So they put their biggest German Shepherd on me with whatever he's supposed to attack in a little sleeve. He took off running at me, stopped 10 feet from me, slid, just kept looking at me. I went up and started petting him and saying, oh, he's a vicious boy, like rubbing him, like picking him up and stuff, and they were so pissed off, man. Because they were like, oh, we got a special dog for you. I said, good, dude, because I'm not afraid of any dog, and I don't think there's a dog that can beat me in a fight. So I said, you can turn those 2 of them. I don't think they can beat me, So, but yeah, they hate it because the dog could tell I wasn't afraid at all as he charged me. So 10 feet out, he completely stopped and just looked at me and like rolled over, like the submission thing or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I wasn't invited back on that trip. It was weird. I don't know why.
I wonder. So meanwhile, fucking Friday night. I did a show on Friday in like a chicken place, basically, like it was one of those places. And Friday I had a show like in like the ghetto. I mean, it was like in like Hoffa, it was like Compton.
Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, chicken and waffles.
Was it chicken and
Wait,
waffles?
you mean they tell me they sell fried chicken in Compton?
So then, no, this is a different show. So
Shocking.
I needed to get out of my house, and I'm like packing. My dad left me a bunch of stuff. I'm like moving stuff. Then I go to the Laugh Factory to pick up a check, and I notice my phone's gone. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't even know how, but like, I can't even remember how people have like maps back in the day. I don't know how anyone got around. I can't remember anyone's phone number. So now I'm like, I have to get to this gig, and I don't have a phone. So I had to drive. So then, look, my wife and I, we have shared locations on our phones. So she knows where I am. I know where she is, yada, yada, yada. I can't even turn it off because then she'll know something's up. Like if all of a sudden I'm like, I'm kind of like stuck, you know? So we have shared locations. So I'm like, just find out where the phone is, right? So she's like, oh, someone's driving around with your phone. Like she could see that my phone's, it ends up 45 minutes away. So I call up, the guy only speaks Spanish. I'm like, I don't know Spanish. I'm like, yo, dinero for mi fono. I'm trying to like give it my phone back. He's like, mañana. I go, no mañana. So I asked my wife, tell me where this guy's address is. I'll just go to him. So now I go to like this place, and it's like, I'm like a little nervous because I'm at a house, 12:30 at night, knocking on the door, fucking like ringing the doorbell. I know my phone's in there. I don't know who's
He's
in the
used
house.
to that.
What?
I think he's used to that.
Yeah, probably.
Somebody
Right?
knocking at the door at 12:30 at night. You know?
So then finally, I keep pressing the ring, and the lady that owns the house is like, hey, what's the matter? I'm not home. I'm in Florida. I'm like, this guy that in here has my phone. She's like, well, what does he look like? I go, I have no idea. He speaks Spanish.
You're like, Mexican. He looks Mexican.
Finally, the fucking guy comes around, and he's like, oh, your phone? I'm like, yeah. Why did you take it? But he has this little like Mexican dude. So I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. He gave it back to me. And all I had, I got paid in hundreds. All I had was hundreds in my wallet. So I'm not gonna give it $100. I probably could have given him $100, but I'm like, 20 or something. So now he's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. You can have your phone, phone. So then I'm like, all right. So I go with my car, and I got like all this weed because I do all these. So I just gave him like a ton of weed. So now this Mexican dude has like a fucking like.
There's going to be phones disappearing all over Southern California now or Nevada. Like, people are like, you get weed for stealing phones?
So that was my Saturday night.
Can't believe you had the balls to go to his house to get it. That's an important phone.
Oh, I'm just like, this is bullshit. Yeah, I mean, what is it? I'm like, finally, like, I get to use my like fight camp. I've been training so hard if I have to. My wife's like, yeah, but he could have a gun. I'm like, I got 2 guns. So, you know, I was trying to be funny. But anyway, my fucking Tupac, yeah, exactly. My fucking daughter, right? So we have a babysitter come because I'm like, I gotta get some work done. So our nanny is a professional rapper. She like teaches rap class. Her name is Lyric, right? And and she actually like teaches rap at this school near me for like, I don't know, some school. So she comes and like my daughter likes her and stuff, but if my daughter knows I'm home, she's like, daddy, daddy, daddy. So I'm like, I go upstairs to do work, and then I hear just crying. So I'm like, oh, you know, what if she's hurt? So I run downstairs. It's just her training me. So the babysitter sent me to my room. She's like, I got sent to the room by the. She's like, go do your work.
He's like, until you got 2 verses, I don't want to see
have a
it.
gun.
Dude, she's got more followers than I have. She's got like 35,000 followers. She's actually a really good rapper. She's like legit. Lyric Jones. She's like legit, and super cool. And then my brother's getting married. I got tickets to the Conor fight, of course, but I can't go. My brother's getting married. I'm so happy for him. I love him. I got to fly to New York. I've been to some Conor fights.
You want to go those tickets?
Do you want to go? It's the guy I got offered from a friend gave it to me. A buddy gave it to me. Would you go if I got it for you?
Yeah.
All right, I'll ask.
How bad are they?
I think they're pretty good. It's the guy that owns like the UFC gyms, who owns them. So I think probably BJ Penn will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll see. I'll ask him. Yeah, man. So I've been to Conor fights before. I was at the Conor Chad Mendes fight. And that was a fight that every time I pick Conor to lose, he wins, and vice versa. That was the craziest fight because they had Sandra, what's her name? Sinead O'Connor sang the national anthem, right? And it was like silent.
Right.
It was like the Irish national anthem. It was, you know, and everyone was like she came in from like the ground and like rose up and sang it. And then the guy from Stained sang the Star Spangled Banner, and people were just booing. I never saw Irish people boo the national anthem. Like, I have never. It was crazy. It was crazy. But that guy personally, afterwards, I went to an after party with him, and it was all Team Alpha Male. And you would think Chad won. I never saw a guy celebrate a loss. Like, he came to, I guess he got $500,000, took the fight on like a week notice, but they partied their ass off. And everyone was, Don, when you lost a fight, did you have like a celebration party? Is that like a new thing?
No, it's like a morgue. It's like a morgue. When I lose, I just have a pity party, you know?
Same with you, Sean, right?
Yeah, when I lost to Stefan Struve, it was the first time I ever lost. I went into his hotel room with him and ate cake because I hadn't had a carb in like a year. But I just sat in there with him. I was too ashamed to even show my face at the hotel because I performed so badly. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be around anybody. It's pretty hard to go to an after party and be like, yo, you're that dude that got beat up, right? Like, yeah, it was me. Like,
but he was like, everyone was partying and celebrating and saying, good fight, good fight. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I guess when you get $500,000, I guess it's like a win, right?
yeah.
But still, I don't know. It's just I think that's a new thing. I think it's a new generation, Don. I don't think people back in the day celebrate when they lost. Like anybody. I mean, even like
but they didn't get participation awards either, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of true. Then I was at the Nate Diaz McGregor fight. I went to the first one and second one, and the first one was the best I've ever seen. That I was so happy for Nate Diaz because it was like he won on that card, and then Miesha Tate won. She beat Holly Holm on that card too. And Miesha Tate was a girl that was always second best to Ronda. You kind of felt for her because she was always that girl that was good enough to get there, but just couldn't beat the hurdle that was Ronda Rousey. So for her to beat the girl that beat Ronda in the 5th round the way she did was pretty damn cool. I know Don used to have a big crush on Miesha, right?
No, that was just a big joke. That was just a big fucking joke, and everybody took it. Everybody went the wrong direction with the fucking thing, man. Jeez.
Yeah, but if Miesha, after the speech, was like, hey, Don, let's go to my room. I want to give you a blowjob, what would happen?
Nah.
Don would have been like, sorry, Ronda Rousey already offered. You're second again.
Yeah. I'm busy. I've got something going already.
That is the funniest thing. By the way, have you been watching those A&E documentaries on wrestlers?
I've watched a couple.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen them.
Don, if you have free time, which it seems like you do, definitely check out The Ultimate Warrior and Randy Macho Man Savage, because those guys were like, that was like my childhood. I thought those guys were like my bar mitzvah was Adam's No Holds Bar Mitzvah. And I had posters of the Ultimate Warrior with like my face on them. Like I was like, I loved Randy, but you talk about guys who tragically flawed. I mean, the Macho Man came from like, you know, his father was a wrestler. His brother was Leapin' Lenny Poffo, the genius. And he was a baseball player, almost made the pros. He built himself up. And then but what a fucking psychopath when it came to Miss Elizabeth. I mean, he was like locking her in the room, wouldn't let anyone talk to her. I guess was rough with her. It was almost like he was like too in love with her. And then she finally ran away. And
I heard he only hit her because he loved her. That's what I heard. But no, hey, I got a great Ultimate Warrior story real quick if you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So when I'm playing basketball in college, I want to go home one weekend. It was one weekend they let us have off. There's a big blizzard in Illinois. I'm trying to drive to Indiana. So the interstate's backed up. I try to go on the shoulder to get around people because you had the asshole truck drivers trying to block both lanes, you know. My car slides off, so I got to have it towed. So some guy comes out, starts towing my car. He's going to tow me all the way to Indy. I don't know how he was going to beat the traffic, but he did. This tow truck, and we're going. And so I start talking to him. He goes, you know who I'm best friends with? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, guess. I'm like, dude, what? How would I, of everybody in the world? Like, I don't know. So I was like, I don't know. The president? Like, he's like, no, Jim Hellwig. And I was like, okay. And he goes, that's the Ultimate Warrior. I was like, oh, cool. So I'm talking to him like best buddies. Like, he goes, you know, he'd start telling me all these Ultimate Warrior stories. Then and part of his story, he's like, yeah, that's before I went to prison. And I'm like young and dumb enough. I was only 19 at the time. So I'm like, what'd you go to prison for? Like something you don't ask, you know? I was like, what'd you go to prison for? He goes, murder for hire. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm in this truck with this guy who either hired someone to kill someone or was hired to kill someone. He was like, yeah, I only did 12 years on it. I got off. And I was like, cool. And so I keep asking questions because I'm an idiot. Like, I just kept saying stuff. And he goes, you looking to have somebody killed? And I was like, dude, no. I just trying to create. I didn't want to talk about the Ultimate Warrior anymore. You know what I mean? But he thought I was like trying to set him up. You looking to have somebody killed or something? I was like, dude, no, I'm good. So I don't know. That was my Ultimate Warrior story.
That's hilarious. That's really.
I've got a great Bill Goldberg story. If you want to hear that real quick.
Let me hear that one.
So I'm in line for the Affliction fights when Fedor fought Tim Sylvia to get into the after part of the VIP. And all of a sudden I hear somebody say, excuse me, big man. And I turned around. It was Bill Goldberg. He's trying to cut in line.
Yeah.
And I said, no, dude, I'm good. And he goes, well, I'm VIP. I said, yeah, me too. And he goes, hey, is there a way I can get through? And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you're next. Like he used to always say after every fight. And he's like, what? And I said, you know, because you're Bill Goldberg. He was like, oh, yeah, how? Like starts laughing. You know, 2 years later, this is when I'm mildly famous in the UFC, or 3 years later, he comes up and I said, hey, man, what's up? I was in love everything. He goes, hey, buddy, sorry, no picture or autographs tonight. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't planning on taking one with you anyway, dude. Like, you know, or whatever. I said, if you want one, let me know. I said, but I wouldn't want a picture with you anyway. But it actually made me really mad because I wasn't asking for it. I said, hey, what's up? Like, not like he's going to remember me, but I was like, what's up, Bill Goldberg? He's no pictures or autographs tonight, buddy. I was like, yeah, I didn't want
his ex-wife was stripping in Atlanta at some strip club. And she kept talking about Bill Goldberg the whole time, about her ex-husband being Bill Goldberg.
I love that he tried to threaten that one kid. Who's the kid that used to fight in the UFC that's a wrestler now? Oh, God. He got into it with Bill Goldberg. He was he was going to say spoke too much. Who is it?
Matt Riddle, right?
Yeah, he got into it. Bill Goldberg's like, yeah, we need to have a talk. I'm like, Matt Riddle would knock your ass into next year, Goldberg. Like, just because you fake won 150 fights. Like, it was ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, Don, these documentaries. So then Macho Man left. He went to WCW and he started dating this girl. He went to a strip club and like met some girl, ended up marrying her. I forgot her name. She's now a truck driver in Alabama. She's really hot though. She's actually really hot. And all wrestling fans are gonna be like, dude, that's fucking what's. Oh, she went by Gorgeous George. That was her name. Macho Man gave her Gorgeous George. But they said he was doing like 1,000 pills of ecstasy. Like he was carrying 1,000 pills on him in his fanny pack when he was going out clubbing with her, and just coke, partying, and just roiding up the fucking like. And his dad would give him the steroids. He would go to his dad was an old school wrestler back in the day, and his dad would give him, juicing him up. But yeah, man, Macho Man had a crazy life. And then the other one, Ultimate Warrior, like just rose up to fame. He was a bodybuilder who was also juicing up and whatever. Got into the WWE. And then he told Vince McMahon, I'm not going to SummerSlam unless you give me $500,000. I want everything Hulk Hogan gets. And then Vince McMahon fired him basically. Then he went on some speaking tour at colleges, like thinking he's going to be like the next Rush Limbaugh. So first of all, like who booked Ultimate Warrior to speak at your college? Like who thought this was a good idea? And then he said something where like gay people aren't as valuable as straight people because they don't produce because they can't reproduce, and so that fucking pissed him off. At which he was wrong on that one. But then it was like then the WWE made like a fucking DVD about the downfall of the Ultimate Warrior just to piss him off, and then finally he changed his name legally to Warrior. So his wife's name is like Danny Warrior. His kids are all last name Warrior. And yeah, it's crazy. But
it's weird. His wife has a stripper name now too. Like I think the moral of all those stories is don't marry a professional wrestler unless you want to be a truck driver or stripper or Danny Warrior. Like I don't know.
Now, fucking Don, did you ever meet any of these wrestlers, Ultimate Warrior or Macho Man?
Yeah, I met Macho Man. He came over to Japan for 2 shows. And one time when we were on tour, a really nice guy. And
nice.
I was really impressed with the guy, completely friendly.
Did you ever wrestle with him?
No, didn't work with him. No, you know. But just watched him. You know, he was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they, you know, back when he was like focused, they said him and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat like wrote out like 2,000 moves and then would quiz each other. Like, okay, move number 34. Then what do we do? And it was like probably the best match ever. It was like on that WrestleMania 3. I think it was that one where Hogan giant. And I don't know. It was just it was fucking those A&E. They're really good, those documentaries. But it's also like, damn, dude, how many guys in the WWE or wrestling when you were there, Don, were on Juice?
I was never in WWE. I only worked for New Japan and All Japan.
But how many guys over there were on steroids?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I didn't walk around. I didn't walk around and check people's asses.
You know what's awesome, Adam, is I did a couple pro wrestling events. One where they had me participate. Tommy Dreamer taught me to participate, and they wanted me to slam this guy. And I was like, dude, I don't know how to protect you. He goes, I know how to fall. I was like, really, dude, I'd rather not. He wanted me to, like, tackle him and slam him like a spear, like a Bill Goldberg spear, but it ended up him just smacking on his head real hard, getting knocked out. It was ridiculous. But I was driving at one point with those guys on this little van because we had to go to a couple different locations. And listen to those dudes talk. Like, Tommy Dreamer was there, Sabu, like Shane Douglas, Kevin Nash was at one of them. He's awesome. Kevin Nash is an awesome guy. But, like, they'll be talking, and it's like they lose track of reality in their pro wrestling. So they'll be like, yeah, best night of my life, Starrcade 85. Me and Tito Santana went 30 minutes. I barely pulled through. Like, I cannot believe I won that match. And I was like, but you guys knew who was going to win at the start, right? Yeah, but I mean, my character pulled through. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, like, yeah, I went into it injured. I thought there's no way I'm beating Dick the Bruiser. I'll be damned if I didn't. And I'm like, but you guys knew ahead of time, right? They're like, well, yeah, but I mean, it was surreal to me to beat him. I was dying laughing on the inside. I didn't want to make fun of their face.
If you want to get depressed, look at Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Because remember how big I mean,
Yeah.
he was the biggest human being I've ever seen. Now he's got to be like 130 pounds. I think he's wheelchair bound. I'm not sure. He was the one that, like, Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's unrecognizable. Don, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. He is wheelchair bound, you know? He's just, like you said, shocking to look at him now.
I mean,
you wouldn't know who he was. You wouldn't know who he was if he wheeled up next to you, you know?
I mean,
ran over your foot.
I mean, it sounds like he's doing well. He found Christ. He's, like, sober, obviously, and it seems like he's doing.
I was saying, you talking there, it did sound like he was doing really well when you got the wheelchair.
But I mean, but to look at him, I've never seen a body like the way he was before. But it's crazy. So, Jason Miller, how you doing, man? What's going on?
No, fucking fantastic. If I could figure out Zoom, am I even on the damn audio right now?
Yes, you are. But don't worry, Don's been on the show for a year and still can't figure it out, so it's all good. So here we are. Jason, any update on the gym that you're running?
Yeah, I mean, fan-fucking-tastic. Everybody's a goddamn beast, and, like, I don't know. Basically, I've been catatonic. I thought you guys were talking about me because I felt like I was in a wheelchair for the past week.
Now, you told me, and we can take this out if you want, but you told me one of the issues at the gym was the guys sparring. They were, like, doing light touching. They weren't really hitting each other.
Bruh. I had half of mine to duct tape one of their hands to each other's head and give them a Dawn Fry fight. You know what I'm saying? The fucking classic fucking slobber knocker where they just hold on with one hand. And I mean, you know, I just got to get these kids to punch each other.
I mean, there's obviously, I mean, the other extreme is going too hard, like the Pat Miller system, where you guys are getting like CTE before the fight starts. But this is the other direction.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, the participation trophy kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like the new generation is like a kinder, gentler Savage. So it's like one of those things that I have to kind of work through, you know, split the difference between the, you know what I mean, head-butting fists and actually, working. The good thing about it is, right, is that all the guys are not only fantastic athletes, but they're also friends. And every time that I've seen a gym like that turns it into like, where everybody gets better and better and better. Not you dink the guy and make him like wobbly and then go for the kill. Like that's not, you don't do that in practice, but you make a mental note, okay, that worked and that's where to finish, and then there's drills to do the finish too that I learned from CR Bahadizada where, because if a guy falls down, there's an awkward moment where you have to like jump in and finish him. There's drills for that. There's drills for that. There's drills for everything, but it's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page.
But you said one of the issues was when they had actual fights that they weren't ready because they didn't know what it was like to be hit at full capacity, and also because they weren't hitting people at full capacity.
Yeah, well, and they're punching right in front of the other fighter. They're like punching just like they're doing the same thing, playing patty cake instead of hammering the guy, is Don, I've got everybody's picture up here, and all I see is like a caterpillar of Don Frye's finger. Don, what kind of, cigar is that you're smoking there? Oh my goodness, bro. You really are.
A good one, damn it.
Don, was that ever an issue as far as like your gyms? Were ever guys going too hard or not hard enough when it came to sparring?
No, there's a couple times we get a new idiot come in and they try and go win the gold, and somebody pull them aside and say, hey, this is practice. Don't hurt anybody, and you won't get hurt. And, you pull them aside a couple of times and then I like, well, the fucking guy ain't getting it, get him, send him home in pieces.
That's exactly what I said to the guys. Like I said, look, there'll be a time where I like do this and like, that's like, go get him. Like, fine. If this guy's going to be a jerk, fine, let him be a jerk. But if we're all teammates, we should all know like when to pull back. It's a strange. There's a strange balance. Like you said, you don't want that Milicic old school style where everybody's just hammering each other the whole time. So you walk into the fight with a concussion, but you also don't want to go boop 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 doo.
Now you said, Sean, Tim Sylvia used to wait for everyone to get tired and then want to spar with you guys, right?
Yeah, he was one of those guys. He loved to jump in after you've done 2 rounds. And then come in, or you could go with Mitch Rowan and he would just head kick you when you're not even wearing shin pads, stuff like that. Like he just like you never knew what was coming with him. He was like, well, that's just the way it was in the NFL. I was like, you people in the head in the NFL, like, 'cause I don't understand. But yeah, he was 110% all the time. And he got into a fight with Alistair Overeem when Overeem was roided out the very first time they practiced, and he told me, "You ain't gonna believe what happened with Overeem today." I said, "I have a feeling I'll believe it, Matt. Like, I bet you hit him too hard. He got mad and murdered you." He's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I was like, because people don't like getting kicked over and over again without shin pads, especially above the shoulders,
Well, the fights this week are going to be awesome, by the way. We got, obviously, Conor versus Poirier. Last night, Conor released a weird cryptic voice memo where he goes, "Hey, P-head, I'm coming for you." And that was it, basically.
Oh, I mean, if it was a little bit long.
Hello, Jason? Hold on. Guys? Hello? Fuck. Hello?
Yeah.
All right. Jason, what were you saying?
Yeah, I hear you, Adam. I just can't see you.
Go cool. Jason, what were you saying? If it was a little bit longer?
Oh, my God. There he is.
Jason, what were you saying? Mayhem?
I was like, if it was a little bit longer, I could have finished. But, sensuality, it's always better when you tell a joke a second time.
Oh, well, nobody heard it the first time, so it's okay. Now, who do we like in Wonder Boy versus Gilbert Burns? I know, Don, you said karate doesn't work. You think it's the least effective martial art. But this guy's the best. He's the best. Wonder Boy is the best. Him and MVP. Who do we like in this fight? Gilbert Burns or Wonder Boy? Don.
I don't know Gilbert Burns. Who's he fought?
He fought Usman. He actually had Usman hurt, And then he then got hurt and then got finished in round 2. It was a pretty good fight, though, pretty competitive fight. He beat Tyron Woodley. He's a high-level BJJ black belt. His striking has gotten much better. He was on like a 6-fight winning streak before Usman. He's really good at jiu-jitsu, and the other guy's really good at karate. So who do you think wins the fight?
Oh, let's see if they stay standing up. I go with the karate guy. If it gets to the ground, I go with the jiu-jitsu guy. How simple is that?
That's very simple. Mayhem?
Well, I mean, after that earth-shattering commentary, Fry. Hey, but I'm in the same boat as Fry. That's like that's an accurate assessment of things. And my heart goes with Wonder Boy. Little known fact: I trained with him when he was like a little baby. Like that was one of the first martial arts school because Ray Thompson's Upstate Karate was like one of the biggest martial arts schools in the entire Southeast. You know what I mean? He took McDojo to Walmart levels. You know what I mean? Like this place was a factory, and everybody in Greenville, South Carolina, knew how to do a little bit of karate. It was pretty interesting. And at the time, I was like a full-on jiu-jitsu nerd. I videotapes of jiu-jitsu. So I just went and choked out all the karate guys, and everybody was angry at me all the time. And I was just like, ah! Even before I had a fucked up ear. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't it a karate school?
It was a karate school, full on. They had above-the-waist kickboxing. It was tremendous. It was a pretty.
I'm saying, were you allowed to choke people out, or you just took it upon yourself to choke everybody out?
No. They actually grappled. They had their own karate grappling that was far inferior to I learned Gracie Jiu-Jitsu on videotapes. It was hilarious. Actually, it was a mix of my hillbilly wrestling with the little jiu-jitsu that I learned, and all the guys there would do this kind of, they would grab your wrist and try to and I'd be looking at them what the fuck is this? Karate wrist lock? I'd just get around behind them and choke them unconscious. But I don't know, man. This Gilbert Burns dude is on a trajectory, isn't he? This guy is hammer-fisted, jiu-jitsu guy. I think that, and Thompson isn't impossible to get to the ground. So I'm leaning, my heart says Thompson. My head says Gilbert.
And Don, what was that? Was that a dog in the background, or was that a person? What was that?
One of each.
Who's over there?
My son.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, tell him we said hello. Sean?
No, fuck you.
Sean, Gilbert Burns, or Thompson?
I'm going to go Burns for the same reason Mayhem said. I also got to say it's great to have Mayhem on the show so that I won't get 100 messages that say, you think you're funny, but you're no Mayhem. That's all I get all the time. The show sucks since Mayhem's gone. They put McCorkle on there. He sucks. I'm like, great, guys. Thanks.
Oh, man. Bro, it's probably great for you, McCorkle, to be the third funniest guy in MMA after me and Brandon Schwab.
Oh, no. Don't please, don't.
Just made my day.
please don't.
JK, LOL.
Don't say that, whatever you do. So Colby,
that was awesome.
So Colby, you guys see Colby Covington's tweet, by the way?
Nah, what did it say?
No.
So he posted a video.
I didn't know he's still alive.
So Colby Covington posted a video of Dustin Poirier dropping somebody in sparring, knocking someone out in sparring, and with the caption, hold on, let me see if I can find this. And people are actually on Dustin's side with this. Let me see if I could share the screen. Boom. Here we go. Okay. So can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So it says, fighters defend. On Tuesday, Covington released a previously teased video of Poirier dropping a teammate in sparring. He basically said, this guy wearing full Nerf gear, head to toe, to protect his face and feelings is Poirier. The guy with no headgear, wrestling credentials, or brain cells is Khabib. Dustin Poirier, good guy, bad guy, you be the judge. All right, so here's 好有趣啊！Amazing. So he basically dropped his partner, and then people are saying, according to Masvidal, says, "Why don't you post a video of Poirier dropping you with the body shot?" Always hating on people with power. Isaac Valley Flag says, "Anybody who thinks Dustin did anything wrong in the sparring video has never spent time in the gym before." And if Colby put this out because right before Dustin's fight, he's more of a dick than either of them. So everyone's saying nothing dirty about it. What do you guys think?
Bro, that's the business. You know what I'm saying? This kid, the guy's getting ready for a championship fight, one of the biggest fights of his entire life. So, you know, he's going to go hard. Like, that's how it is. Like, that's the way it is. Like, you have to work hard. You have to like, get ready. And I've studied those. I studied the last fight a lot, you know, and I think that Poirier is like, you know, the strength that he brings with his punches, like his boxing has developed so much, and these tricky little things that he does with his straight left and with his right check hook are really going to be the determining factors. If he can land that on Conor, he's going to have a short night. You know, I think that, again, it's like about trajectory. Poirier has been on this steady rise, and Conor has been kind of like the same Conor, you know, and even went to boxing only, you know, that so it does something to you.
So you're picking Poirier. McCorkle, you?
Man, I don't know. I think both of them at their best. I think Conor's a better fighter if he's at his best, but he hasn't shown much, man, recently. So I think it's a toss-up. I'm probably going to go with Conor this time because there's more pressure on him. I mean, he was like landing some shots in the first one, but he wasn't able to put Poirier out. But it might all come down to the calf kicks again. If he can't defend that, he's not going to be able to do much, man.
Well, yeah. Here's my thing. Here's what I think about that is that those calf kicks were an interesting thing because they're both southpaws. Conor never had to deal with that. Conor never had to deal with that southpaw like calf kick before. And what happened in that fight was really the punches were a factor because Poirier had figured out that if he switches stances, Conor throws this crazy straight left where he leans his head way forward. And like all he did was duck that and counter with the right hook. Like that's all he did. He like knew that when he switched stances, Conor was coming with the straight left. So all he did was a crazy duck and then just threw the right. Like he threw it right where he knew Conor's head was going to be. Yeah. And Conor, you know, he as far as I know, he hasn't changed his training camp. He hasn't done anything different. And he didn't do that thing where he gets into your head other than this weird, creepy 3 a.m. text message. I mean, voicemail where he's like calling him B-head, you know? I think that, like, Conor needs to, like, get inside a guy's head to really fuck with them. And, like, Poirier is unflappable.
Don, anybody ever get in your head when you fought him?
No. It's pretty empty. I always kept my head empty, you know? So nobody got in there.
Did you ever try to get anyone else's head?
Oh, yeah. I tried getting in Shamrock's head, you know, which was both good and bad. And, shit. And a couple other guys, I don't remember who, but.
Misha Tate?
It was. Dude. No, some guys are easy. Some guys are easier than others.
Yeah, no, you were a king of that, McCorkle. You got in everyone's head when you fought.
Yeah, except Mark Hunt. I didn't want to get in his head because I was pretty sure he was going to kick my ass. So.
What did he say to you at the weigh-in?
We were cool, man. I actually told him, took a picture with him, which I still can't find, but told him like I was a huge fan. It was surreal for me to fight the UFC because I didn't like really belong there. But to be fighting Mark Hunt in my hometown in front of like, usually the prelims, that's the first fight of the night. There was 18,000 people. It was ridiculous for the first fight of the night. But I was cool with him, like a huge – he was one of my favorite fighters till we came out right as the fight got ready to start. He entered the ring or cage, came over and did that stupid like, you know, slit the throat thing to me or whatever. And I lost my mind because I couldn't stand being disrespected by somebody I had shown no disrespect to. And so I was like, I told him, I said, "You're about to see, bitch." I said, "Wait." I said, "You'll see." Like, started like saying stuff to him. Then the first time he hit me, I was like, "Wow, I was way off." Like, I guess he's not going to see. He was way faster than I thought he was. But thankfully, I got him to the ground by pulling the worst guard ever and submitted him. But it was going to be a short night for me if I hadn't.
Now, were you single back then?
Yeah, seems like it.
Did you get laid that night or no?
No, man. I actually had to do an interview with Sherdog, and I wouldn't have done it except they had talked all kind of shit about me, how I was a joke in this, so I had to seek them out to do an interview with them and just kept asking them what they thought about me now and stuff like that. Then I had to attend an after party I was getting paid $1,000 to go to that I never got paid for. Matt Mitrione arranged it, and I never got my money. After that, I just went home like about 1 a.m. I just went home. I had it.
Jason,
I was hoping the whole night that I hadn't dreamed I beat him, was going to wake up in the hospital or something. Like, I really kept thinking, man, I hope this is real, because that would suck if I got knocked out and I just thought I beat him. So.
Now, Don, I know you were a faithful guy to your ex-wife, so you never got laid after your fights in Japan. Jason,
only with her.
Only with her.
But I had to wait in line.
Jason, what about you, man? After you beat Sakuraba, I mean, was it?
Bruh.
Come on,
bruh. You saw them dancers? Oh my God.
Yeah, but they were underage. Yeah, but they were
6 out of 7.
What? That's how old they were.
Jeez, bro.
So,
you know, like you were talking about getting in people's head. You know, I think Poirier might be in that camp of like you can't really get into his head, you know, like it's like when I fought Lawler, like at the press conference, I was like, hey man, you know, there's like really smart guys and there's great athletes. You're a great athlete. And he was like, thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, I can't get in this motherfucker's head at all. He like doesn't even get it. Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. I feel like some guys you just can't, like Wonder Boy. Like that guy's just gonna say thank you. You know who was like that? Tim Tebow. When people used to tackle him, he would go, "Jesus loves you." Everybody to tackle him, he would tell him, "Jesus." I mean, I can't think of a more annoying. Imagine like you sack the guy, he goes, "Jesus loves you."
It was even more surprising when you realized he was talking about the guy who stole your phone, Adam.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Before you came on, Jason, I lost my cell phone and I got it back. I went to somebody's house because I had like Google sharing. My wife and I do location sharing. So I went to the guy's house at like midnight. Some Mexican dude finally came out with my phone. So I gave him a bunch of weed.
Well, that's racist.
I had nothing else. In my car. Like I was gonna give him. Like all I had was $100 bills. I got paid in hundreds. So I didn't want to give. Like, it was a lot for.
Adam's giving a Mexican weed. He's like got an Eskimo. He's giving ice cubes too. Like, here you go. Or giving jokes to Brendan Schaub, the last thing he needs.
How is Schwab's comedy career going? I've been away for a while. Doing all right?
It's stellar.
So it came in the news today. GSP is picking Jake Paul to beat Tyron Woodley in boxing. He says it's a different sport. He's trained with amateurs that would give him the business back in the day in boxing. GSP did. And he just thinks that in an MMA match, Woodley would win. But in boxing, he's going to have the weight on him, and he's going to beat him. Fry, what are your thoughts?
That weight makes a lot of difference in a stand-up fight. You know, it really does. Makes a difference in any fight. But unless you're a heavyweight, you know, then you're used to it. Heavyweight is the only weight class that, you know, can fight somebody more than 10, 15 pounds than them and be successful at it. You know, the other guys, they can't do anything against somebody 10 pounds heavier. So I'd have to go with Paul.
You're insane. Come on, Fry. Look, this guy, it's an 8-round fight, right? It's an 8-round exhibition. Okay, Tyron Woodley's been in shape before. Like, he knows how to put a jab out there. He knows how to wrestle, too. Usually, the weight factor comes on because the bigger guy will hang on the other guy's arms and, wear him out. But I don't think that's going to be a factor with Tyron Woodley. And I don't think he's going to really put a damn big hand. He's going to be way faster. He's going to be moving around. He's going to be zigging and zagging. He's training with Mayweather, okay? I figure he'll be sharp on the night. How long does he got left to train for this?
July 28th is the fight.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I hope he's got time to do it. I don't really think that I don't think it's going to be as much of a factor that the size, because it's an 8-round fight. I think that he's going to be able to push the pace early and then get Paul to tire himself out a bit. And then later, yeah, I think he might win some of the middle rounds, maybe like by slugging and getting Tyrone to like have to like block and whatever. But, you know, majority, I think it'll be, you know, decision for Woodley. I don't think he's going to get knocked out.
Sean.
Man, I think unless Woodley is completely shot physically, I don't see any way Paul wins. Man, Woodley isn't Ben Askren, you know, when it comes to striking. So, yeah, unless Woodley's chin's gone or unless, you know, he's got torn up shoulders, something like that, you know, that we don't know about. But I can't – I mean, I couldn't see Ben Askren either. But
you also picked Askren to win.
Yeah, I didn't know Askren was going to stand down there with his hands up and his chin out waiting to get hit either, though, too. Like, who would have thought that? You know?
And, like,
just put your hands up a little.
Yeah, I agree. How the fuck did Askren train for that? Like playing EA boxing? I don't understand.
He did 1 week at Wild Card with Freddie Roach. And then he hired that guy K9 Bunridge, the guy that used to bark all the time on The Contender. That had like he had trained him. He go woof. He had like the word. Yeah, he hired him. So he didn't really. Askren didn't. Also, all right. This week we got Greg Hardy versus Tai Tabosa. Greg Hardy is the guy that was in the NFL that had the domestic problems that like they just kind of the UFC guy, and he's
who doesn't.
Bless your heart.
Me and Sean. So he and you have you been arrested, Don? No, right?
No, I'm talking about the NFL though.
Oh, okay. Oh God, even worse.
I heard Greg Hardy solved his domestic problems pretty quickly.
So yeah. So Greg Hardy's fighting Tai Tabusa. He's a boxer from New Zealand. That should be a good fight. If any of you guys want to chime in. And then Yana Kuniskaya, who's a pretty hot Russian girl, is fighting Irene Aldana. I'm sure you guys don't know that. Sean O'Malley. We know Sean O'Malley. He's the guy with the crazy hair, does those crazy kicks. He lost one fight because his ankle blew out. He's fighting Chris Mutiho. There was like a fucking line of people wanting to fight Sean O'Malley. And the UFC found a guy that's not in the UFC to bring him up on short notice. I think that I'm not saying they're protecting him, but they could have given him you know.
Nah, I mean, look, you know, there's rare guys that become stars in this sport, you know, and O'Malley is one of them. Like, he's a fucking star. The guy does, like, flashy techniques. He's, like, got power in both hands. He knows how to kick. He knows how to punch. He knows how to wrestle. Like, he is a guy that you should protect a little bit and bring him along so that the fans can see him. You exhibit him, you know. You want to show him off a bunch. You don't want to, like, just – I mean, that injury – why it was freak, you know, that could have been a big deal. And so you don't want to just throw him back into like a top 10 kind of guy. You want to bring him along.
I have no idea what's going on right now. It's like
Don, no, I don't know. I think Don Fry's doing his taxes in the background or something.
He's like talking to his dog. What?
Yes.
Nice. You know, exactly. I tried my best to come on MMA Roasted. I tried my best to come on MMA Roasted and deliver hard-hitting technical advice and, you know, analysis, but I'm upstaged by a rescue mutt.
He looks like Don, too. That's the thing. That dog looks just like Don Fry.
Jason wasn't here when Don told us his dog's name was Syndrome and that he hated telling him to get down. Remember that?
No, you said that.
It was me. Sorry.
By the way, also, Mayhem. So, McCorkle's always like, he's like fucking. He's always talking about money. He goes out and buys a farm, right? So he lives on a farm in Indiana. He never farmed before. So he flips the tractor in like the first week, right? Him and his kid. Then a meth head comes in the backyard. He's got like an AK-47, like he's fucking Rambo, shooting up the whole fucking neighborhood, right? Then he goes out and buys a $20,000 dog to breed. It doesn't even know anything about dog breeding, but thinks this is a good investment. And then buys another dog, and he almost fucking shoots the dog while the fucking meth head's there. So he's fucking shooting up there. Then he buys a pond. He puts a pond in his front yard, but doesn't know who to hire. So they build half the pond and then leave. Right, so now he's got half a pond with a fucking moat like in the corner, and he's got a dog breeding business, and he's going to South America with fucking Don Fry to get stem cells put in Colombia. This is their newest fucking mission. Like, what can go wrong here? So I'm saying,
yeah. All this sounds accurate. Yeah, that sounds good. I think I want to get in on this actually.
That's the first time I've started questioning my decision when Mayhem wanted in on it. I was like, okay, wait.
Yeah, I'm down, bro. I mean, if you need some seed money, I mean, let's get into it. You know what I mean? Let's harvest some embryos. You know, I have Democrat friends.
Sean, is anything that I'm saying not true?
I mean, it's close. It's actually two $10,000 dogs with a third one on the way. So there's that. They did finish the pond finally. I'm not actually farming. I just wanted some land. And it sounds like from your story, I'm bad with money, but you got to ask yourself, how is someone who hasn't had a job in 10 years buying 20 acres, putting a pond in, buying $20,000 dogs? And if you're thinking a covert weed operation in Michigan, you might be right. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that anymore either. But
Now,
fuck, bro, there's ears everywhere, dude.
now,
Jesus
do you know how to breed? You know how to breed dogs? Do you have any kind of expertise on this?
yeah, I've raised pit bulls my whole life. Yeah, I've been around my whole life. So if I can't get 5,000 a pup, I'm doing something wrong. Which, I mean, is very with my history in life. It wouldn't surprise me if I couldn't give them away because that's the way it works. But yeah, I bought them from this world famous breeder. I've got 3 dogs from her. So once they're ready to breed, I should be able. I mean, I would think $5,000 a puppy. We'll see though. I don't know. Maybe 1,000, and it's all a waste of money. So,
dude, what kind of dog is this? Like,
they call them American bullies, but they're basically just oversized pit bulls.
all right.
So now, do you have any animals on this farm?
Not that I haven't shot yet. No. We've got no. I'm not into like having cows or horses or anything like that. Like just a puppy mill. That's strictly a puppy mill.
So old Mick Corkle had a farm.
I knew it was coming.
Fuck, sorry. I had to do it.
Jason, do you have any advice for now? It's too bad that you and Jason didn't get it because you guys would have been perfect together. So he started a fight promotion because he was managing like 20 guys, but he couldn't get them fights, right? So he rented out a huge venue in Indiana, and he had fights, but then he had his ex-girlfriends have pillow fights with each other in between the real fights. And then he had MMA fights, boxing fights, and then halfway through, he makes a speech, and he lists off every girl in the building that he fucked. So now they're all angry at him. People are on dates. They're with their dates, and he's like, I fucked that girl, that girl, that girl in the ass. Then he almost gets, like, indicted because they found out that the pillow fights weren't actual fights. So they were rigged. So he almost.
This motherfucker is having unsanctioned pillow fights. What about the sanctity of the sport?
Right.
Next to be telling me that the Vaseline fights are unregulated.
Don, isn't that kind of what happened too?
Yeah, they got mad about it. They said that the fights weren't like these aren't really fights though. And I said, well, I didn't get them sanctioned because it's just like an exhibition. And they said, well, you can't do it anymore. So I had a real fighter who's actually in trouble now. He's in jail for hitting a girl in the face with a hammer, but not at my show, just in general. But I had him go in and challenge him to a fight, just playing around. And I told the girls I'd give him $100 a piece if they really beat him up, like kicking full force in the balls and punch him in the face. And it was awesome. Like 3 or 4 girls jumped him, were stomping him out. It was great. He didn't know it was coming, but it was he wouldn't hit him back because I guess he wasn't hitting girls with hammers at that point yet. But yeah, then the commission said they're going to shut the show down if I didn't stop doing ridiculous stuff. So,
bro, I should hook that guy up with my ex, bro. She did the same shit. You know what I'm talking about, right, Adam? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Was anybody entertained by this show? And are people looking around during this event going, "What the fuck?"
The men loved it. The women did not like it. The women that were there did not like what was going on. So,
yeah. I mean,
not even the ones pillow fighting didn't seem to like it that much.
Me too.
So, I mean, it's too bad you and Mayhem didn't know each other earlier. I feel like you guys could have had
Well, some men just want to watch the world burn.
Now, Jason, some of the fighters that you are coaching right now that have talent, Are you going to manage them?
I hope so. Some of these assholes signed with other people while I was away. Oh, well. I mean, that's the business. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know, I was facing a long time, so maybe they didn't know what was going on. But, you know, I got enough guys to take care of the business, you know. Just keep it going, keep it going. It's one of those things. You can't get too hurt about it. It's like, you know, it never gets any easier. Oh, well.
Got it.
I'll tell you one thing about managing fighters. There's nothing like putting like 10 or 20 grand into a guy and then him saying, yeah, I just don't want to fight anymore, man. I'm not into it anymore. I'm like, okay, well, I paid for you and your opponent for your last 6 fights to get you 6-0. Now you don't want to fight anymore? You know what I mean? Like, that's like, it'd been nice to know 6 fights ago.
Man, I can't imagine. I mean, MMA fighters are so underpaid as it is. I can't imagine being a manager and taking, 10%, $800 or something like that. Like, that's gotta be rough. I mean, you really have to have 3 other jobs to be an MMA manager. I would think. Don, what's going on right now?
Yeah, Don, you don't want to be on the show anymore? I mean, we love you, bud. You don't have to be on the show.
Don, are you okay, Don?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm giving my son some money since you all were talking drugs so much, you know, you started making me itch. You know,
I thought you already had daughters.
What's that?
I thought you only had daughters. How many sons do you have?
One. He's 40 years old from a different relationship.
Oh, okay. Got it. And you're still giving him money?
Well, he's picking something up for me.
Awesome. A runner.
This is the most dysfunctional fucking podcast in the history. So Carlos Condit is fighting. Did you guys see that against Max Griffin, who I like a lot? Max is a good dude. You guys see that video I posted? Probably not, but I'll play it. Where you know how I've done about 9 overseas trips for the military. Sean, you did a couple. You know how you get these guys that like, hey, you want to roll? And they're like purple belts or black belts or whatever. And they're like, oh, I've only done this a couple times. And they try to submit like UFC fighters. I'm sure that happened to you every time, right? With like other guys?
Most of them were afraid to grapple with me because they thought I was going to try to hurt them. But the ones I ran into were the guys that would just curl up in the fetal position in a ball and then be like, oh, I went 5 minutes. He couldn't submit me. I'm like, well, yeah, dude, I couldn't punch or anything either. Like, you know, like if you're just going to wrap your arms around your knees and hold, like, how am I going to submit you? You know, like it was just, I ran into a lot of that. Shayna Baszler submitted several guys and then they couldn't hear the end of it. The whole rest of the time at the base, they were like, that's a girl choked you out like to the guys that she was submitted. So nobody wanted to roll with me or her.
So here's what happened with Carlos Condit. I'll play it. Carlos Condit went overseas on one of these tours, and the guy says to him, Carlos says, "How hard do you wanna go?" And then the guy says, "Hit me as hard as you want to be hit." That's what the guy says to Carlos Condit. And here's how this went. All right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know. That's like the same kind of thing. I mean, but also like he damaged a piece of government property. So
I'll play it from the beginning. It's up to you, man. Right? The guy goes, hit me as hard as you want to get hit. So the guy right away flips Carlos. This is Carlos right here.
Yeah. I mean, look, let me tell you, dude, I went to the Marine training camp and like taught the guys combatives. And at the end of the whole seminar, the guy, they went back to back to back to back to back. I just stayed in, you know, like when I was in sick shape, I just like tapped out like 15 of them in a row. And the last one was like the biggest Mexican I ever seen. He looked like, I don't know, Tenochtitlan, I don't know, Chulu, the war god. Like, you know, it was just fucking crazy. And look, America's armed forces, they're savages, you know, but when you fight for a living and that's all you do, it's much different than, you know, you got to be on the range and you got to be on, you know, filling out paperwork and, I don't know, do whatever your MOS is, you know.
Yeah, they're also not fighting with submissions. They're just fighting for like their lives. It's a different kind of fight. That's why I kind of feel like Krav Maga doesn't always translate to MMA because the rules are a lot different, you know, which are basically.
What do you mean, Krav Maga when you poke each other in the eye and shit?
Just like kicking in the balls. Kicking in the balls. I took a Krav Maga class. Look, I'm not saying it's obviously effective when it comes to, you know, if you're fighting in war, but they were teaching these soccer moms what to do when a guy like holds a gun at you. And the soccer moms were just taking the plastic gun. I'm like, first the guy was like, well, first thing you do is give the guy your money. But if you have to, I'm like, don't even teach this. Like,
yeah. Teach pocketbook takeouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, take your pocketbook out, hand it to the guy. Jesus Christ, please. Yeah, I wonder, you know what? I bet you like the percentage of people getting shot to do Krav Maga is like way higher, you know?
I think anybody that says it,
okay.
Anybody that says a long word,
real psycho mayhem days, like when I was just on a delirium bender all the time, I like brought my stuff to a Krav Maga place and just, I mean, I would get drunk at night and then beat up fucking everybody at that place all day. It was really weird. Yeah, it was like a blurry moment in my life where I was just like beating up Krav Maga people for no reason. I don't know. It's kind of fun.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Nothing is worse than this. So this guy, McDojo Life, right? We have had him on the podcast. So his mission in life is to expose fake MMA trainers, right? And fake gyms, which I think is kind of cool because, I mean, it is annoying that people could just say that they know what they're doing because they're teaching others like bad technique. And those people are then getting hurt.
All
like,
they do, Adam, they just have a set of keys to the gym. You know, that's all they're qualified as. You know, they can open up the fucking door and lock it up.
But you got to see this guy, Don, because this is like next level. Okay, so this guy, I mean, this is teaching. Hold on, let me see. Are you watching this? Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
So this is.
Yeah. Well, I've seen this on Brazzers before.
Hold on. Let's start from the top. All right. So he's teaching how to defend an armbar. Before, hold on, but there's one that's even.
I like that, like they don't take their socks off for this, like especially, and grappling right next to the bicep machine is probably
you gotta see the rear naked choke. Hold on.
With a severe choke. Now, Natalie, I got a really tough choke on you. What are you gonna do?
It's so tight right now, your grip. I cannot even think straight, Brian.
You're gonna sink your chin right into the meat of my arm, right where all those tendons and pressure points are. And what you're gonna do is back of your head with both your hands. Good, and you're just gonna sink right on down.
Oh my God. Yo, bro, I gotta find a Karen like that.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna cross your arms around my wrist. Now you're negating both the choke and the assault. You're gonna bring this one arm all the way here, but she's gonna put her one leg right here on my hip, and with the other leg, we'll wrap around my head. You're gonna pull that arm here. Okay, got it.
It's like watching Brendan Schaub.
I stand corrected. Me saying that they just have a set of keys to the gym, I stand corrected. I'm so wrong.
What are your thoughts on that, Mayhem?
Bruh, I mean, wow. I don't know if those techniques will really work. I mean, in real life, fuck. Like, I don't even have a joke about that. It's just so sad. Like, is that really what's going on in the street? You know, look, he's probably the best jiu-jitsu guy at 24-hour fitness. You know, it's one of those real life martial arts wonders.
Sean, thoughts on it?
My first thought I can't say because it would be way over the top. I don't know. I just think it's probably like watching Brendan Schaub teach stand-up comedy. Like that's what it reminded me of. Like that level of instruction.
It's worse.
And there would be a black guy in the video with him. I don't know why.
Well, at least Schaub has gotten laughs. His fun has like done comedy and made money at it. Like, has that guy ever trained before? Has anyone ever? He just made that up, right? He might have just made that up. You can't. Nobody taught him.
Wait a second. But look. look at what he's doing. Take your chin and push your carotid artery against my arm, you know?
And
do the work for me.
Back of your...
You know, just,
yeah.
Why don't you just grab your gun and put it in your eyeball and pull the trigger? And the bullet will go through your eyeball, through your brain, and will shoot me. and the mugging will end. It will be over.
I mean, that guy should be arrested. Because what's going to happen is a girl's going to do that. That girl, well, I don't know if everyone's going to mug her, but if someone did try to mug her,
yourself out.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that guy probably
you're
has been
choking
arrested.
yourself out.
Now, Jason, when you were in jail, did anyone ever try to upstage you and be like, "You know, this guy, I know how to street fight, or I could do this or that"? Did anyone ever try to like test your knowledge of fighting?
Yeah.
And what happened?
Somebody had sex.
Yeah. I gave him some surprise sex. I don't know. It's like one of those things where look, inside is like a different world, you know? Like outside, everyone can be an asshole, you know, because there's no consequences. But in there's fucking consequences.
So did you, I mean, I would obviously think that like if I went to jail, which God forbid, I just put my head down, not talk to anybody, just be quiet, be humble, be polite.
I didn't have that option. Like there was no way to do it. And, you know, politically, I surfed and like did what you got to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, when fucking shit popped off, like I took care of myself. You know, I'm a martial artist and I know what I'm doing.
Right. Did you take it to the ground or keep it on the feet?
Well, I threw the dude on the floor. Yeah. And then when I stayed on my feet, like I wasn't fucking about to get stomped out. You know what I mean? But
you threw him like hip toss, judo toss, like fucking head and arm?
No, I fucking, like Cormier kind of fucking boost him in the air. You know what I mean? But the big, you don't got to worry about that so much, you know, like, okay, as long as you don't like fall on the ground, that's the worst thing you could do, because then you get kicked the fuck, you know, stomped out. But the worst part is when the cops come in with that paintball gun, they're full of pepper balls. That's what you got to watch out for, is that once they, you know, you got 20, 30 seconds before they hit the yard and start spraying.
Fuck, dude, what a fucking life, man.
I know.
And they told you like you were worried about being there for life. They said you might have to be here for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know, our broken judicial system, like you know, it's
like you went from life to you're out.
Yeah, because it was all bullshit the whole time. You know, it's like oh, we're gonna give you a life sentence, but it's like, but I didn't do anything. Oh no, but take the deal. 4 years. It's better than getting life. Yeah, but I didn't do anything. Oh well. Let me hire a real lawyer. Medina, get on it. Then suddenly, you're out. Like, okay. You know, I thought that if you didn't do anything, that you could just, you know, they'll figure it out. Nah, that's not the way it works.
How many people do you think were?
No.
How many people do you think were in your jail that didn't do anything?
Like one.
Oh, really?
Him.
Yeah.
Everybody's innocent in there.
Yeah, everybody was innocent. Yeah. Nah. You know what? The funny thing is being talkative like I am and being like kind of like, I don't know, like cool with everybody. It served a strange purpose in there that I got like the real story from a lot of guys who really did some shit, you know, like very terrible shit. Like they would just eventually kind of casually tell me what the hell they did. And man, it was pretty horrific stuff, you know? It's like, oh geez. And other guys, like there's some dummies in there that like they had already pled guilty and they still wouldn't tell me. So I can't imagine what they did.
Well, I got to say, man, you're very easy to talk to. And I wonder if that's a skill that you develop. You always been easy to talk to, but in jail, because you just have to listen, right? You're just listening a lot, you know? So I wonder if people, were you kind of like the jail therapist in a way? People came up to you and want to tell you their problems?
Jail therapist, jail lawyer, jail doctor. Like, I just became everything. Like, I was diagnosing people's foot fungus. I was wrapping ankles. Like, I was counseling guys about their ex-wives. Like, it was like the strangest Dr. Mayhem episode that I've ever seen. Like, it was just, oh man, I never want to do that again. I much rather coach the guys at the gym, you know, than coach the dudes in the big house. You know, it's my fault, of course, because I got caught up with this crazy woman that, you know, that was her fetish, was to have me locked up, you know, and that's the way it goes. But, you know, it was instructive because you're humbled and you see human nature boiled down, you know, to its essence inside there. It's the worst place to be, but you get to know, like, what men are made of.
How many people did you hear crying at night?
Nobody cries. No.
Really? Even the first night?
No, nobody cries. No.
Wow. Sean, I noticed you were in a bad mood today because you're back. By the way, if you don't know, Sean's back for 9 years. He went to Germany. He paid for back surgery. He did everything he can. He's still in a ridiculous amount of pain. At one point, he was taking, 40 pills a day? How many oxys a day?
A lot, man. Yeah, probably, 20 to 30.
And he still got back problems. You came on today. You're in a bad mood. Your girlfriend is adorable. I know her. She's 100 pounds. She's a beautiful girl. Is she getting pissed at you? Are you annoying her with your attitude?
No, man. She's like the most, tolerant person in the world. Of course, I never try to make her pillow fight at one of my shows either. So that might be part of it. But no, she's awesome, man. She very patient, nicest person I've ever known. Other than my daughter, maybe, and they're about even. So
does she care about your past? Because back in the day, you used to send me pictures of girls. Jason, the hottest woman I've ever seen, Don. But he would always piss him off. Like, because they would text him and be like, hey, you're really cute. And then he would make like funny jokes about it. And then text me. I'm like, yeah, but did you sleep with her? He's like, yeah, but this is still funny, right? I'm like, yeah, this is funny. Like, what's the point? Did she ever get mad at your Playboy past?
It's not her favorite topic. It's good that you keep bringing it up every week at the podcast where she can hear it.
Wait.
Especially when she's within listening range. But
helps a lot.
Yeah, no, it's something, I don't know, man. I was also got married as a virgin at 19 and got divorced at 32. So I'd only slept with one woman for the first 32 years of my life. So.
Wow. Don, you lost your virginity at 9, right? Is that what you're saying? All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I saw a comment there on YouTube that said when Don Fry was born, the doctor said, "Congrats, man, you have a man."
Yeah, seriously. I lost my virginity at 17. The girl I was working with at Kenny Rogers Roasters Chicken. This Puerto Rican girl named Maria. And she queefed the first time. I knew what I was doing. I watched porno. I put her legs over her head, her ankles, and then I heard, and I was like, was that you or me? And she's like, me. Like I guess she wasn't that flexible. So it weirded me out. And then
now she has back problems like I do. You're insanity.
Jason, how old were you when you lost your virginity?
I don't know, like 13, 14. Now I banged this dog face girl behind the damn 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? It was fucking horrific, bro. It was like
always the way she pictured it.
Man, yeah. Listen, look, I don't know, man. It's a coming of age tale, really, bro. Because we went out in the woods behind this damn Texaco, and my buddy was back there with another girl, and I was like, I don't know, I was afraid of getting a disease. I was putting the condom on upside down, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was trying to bang her while my buddy was like, hurry up, bro, hurry up. And I was like, I'm going as fast as I can.
Wait, he was next? Wait, your buddy was next?
Yeah, he was actually. After I completed the task, bro, I gave him the rugby pass and he dated her for 6 months.
Wow, behind a 7-Eleven. She was a dog face girl?
Oh, God, she's fucking Rhonda. God damn, bless her heart. Thanks a lot for deflowering me, but Jesus, she was butt ugly.
And then, Don, what was your story? Don?
Well, when I was 6, so I got my first blowjob. And I was 6 years old, and it was a man. He molested me, and I really appreciate you bringing that up. But yeah, it wasn't the way I envisioned anything. Believe me.
Well, I'm sorry that happened, Don. That really wasn't where I was going with the story.
That was fucking shocking.
But I'm sorry. I kind of meant like, I'm sorry that happened. We'll just leave it at that. But I meant like when you had sex with a woman.
Well, it's a good-looking kid. Wasn't your fault.
I'm sure you were a good-looking kid, and but I know the molested. Sorry, I'm sorry that happened. I meant like he had.
Hell, I was molested 3 different people. 3 different times.
You got molested 3 different times. Yeah. I know you told me that. I wasn't trying to bring that up, and I'm sorry that happened. And if anybody here is,
what were you looking for then?
Bro, give me a fucking trigger warning next time.
Sean, help me out. Help me out here.
Well, I think it's actually
you want Sean to help you out? You're in trouble.
My mom and dad were real into church when I was young, and so they had these 2 pedophiles that had gotten out of jail and were looking for a place to live. Like one of them was a 5-foot-tall Vietnamese guy. He was kind of like our pedophile, Mr. Miyagi, and used to work for him. It's a long story, but we had like 2 pedophiles living in the house at once in our basement. And my brother had been arrested for armed robbery, and he was living down there like at 16 years old. So we called our basement Cell Block F, because if you went down there past 8 o'clock at night, you might get effed. So that was
Wait, why would your parents let 2 pedophiles live at your house?
Because they found Jesus, the 2 pedophiles did allegedly or whatever. They were heterosexual pedophiles, so we had nothing to worry about with only boys in our house.
Oh.
But they I don't know. Looking back, it seems ridiculous, but anyone who cried Jesus, my mom and dad would help them out, give them money, give them a place to live, anybody if they found Jesus. So it didn't matter what their past was. So they got played a lot by people, but as far as I know, none of us ever I didn't get molested. I don't know if my little brother did. He claims he didn't. Although there were some weird karate sessions going on down there at night. I heard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get waxed on or waxed off?
Yeah, that's what that was always the joke. We'd be up, down, in, out, things like that.
When I was on the wrestling team in high school, I was like an 8th grader freshman. There was a guy that wrestled with us. Like this guy was like a doctor, but his kid wrestled for the school, but like 20 years before. They let some like 60-year-old dude just come to practice. And he was in the town. So I was taking a shower, and I was like, one of those group showers. And the guy's like, "Hey, you got soap on your back." And he comes over and is rubbing my back. And I'm just like frozen. Like, that really wasn't the reaction, Don. And then my buddy was like, "Adam, it's time to leave." And like grabbed me and like got me out of the shower, And then later he was in some
my back rub.
And then some other guy's room, another kid in our team's room, like at 8 or 9 o'clock, and gave him a massage while he was in bed. It was fucking weird, dude. So that guy recently passed away. I can't say that I was really upset about it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, like the school crossing guard tried to touch me. I stabbed him with a pocket knife.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like while you were crossing the street?
Good.
No. It was like a weird thing, Like looking back at it, I was wondering why I didn't get in trouble for that. You know what I mean? And then I realized that like that guy was like grooming like little girl. Like I remember this one girl, and it always makes me mad that I didn't do more about it because like, she was like a normal ass little girl. And I remember this like crossing guard was like always giving like those prizes that you come out of that you get out of the claw machine to her and gave me one. And I didn't understand, you know what I mean, at the time. But then in junior high, that girl really went dark, like real dark, you know what I mean? And so, it's amazing to me to hear that like Dawn is like so well adjusted that, after coming back from something crazy like that, you know what I mean? That's like, take a lot of courage, Dawn. I can't. I'm shocked right now.
How old were you? Yeah, definitely on Don. How old were you when you stabbed the guy?
Like 12. And he didn't report me nothing. It's not like I drew blood or anything. I just poked him, you know?
How do you stab a guy and not draw blood?
Fuck, you're B11?
He wasn't an accomplished stabber at that.
I was like,
this podcast is taking a weird turn ever since the molestation story.
Bro.
The 3 times. But Don, are you okay? What's going on now? What are you doing? What is he doing?
I'm getting a pain pill. I'm getting a pain pill because you're bringing back some terrible memories.
Hey, bro, I thought you were off those things, bro. You taking pain pills right now? Come on, Bloodbath. Oh, my God.
Send me one through the internet, Don.
Oh, my God.
Hey, so what? McCoy, was you still on them shits? Like, I don't know, man. That shit is so hard to get off of. I took those things, bro. It was so hard. Like, coming off that shit, oh, my God, bro.
Yeah,
like you're
people
gonna die.
Well, that's what people don't understand, man. Like, they'll only prescribe you, I said earlier, they'll only prescribe enough to make you miserable, 30 days a month. So you can either take them all in the first 2 weeks and then be sick for 5 days, or just hurt all the time. So it's like you can't really win either way. But I take this stuff called Kratom now, but probably 2 weeks a month. It doesn't really help much with pain. It's supposed to. It doesn't. It's a legal herbal thing, but it does stop any kind of withdrawals from happening. So, like, once you run out of pain pills, you can take the Kratom and you don't have the withdrawals, for the most part.
But, like, you're chained to that shit forever then, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to do something about my back. As soon as my back's fixed, I'll talk to my doctor about tapering off everything, but I can't live a normal life at this point without doing it, man. It hurts. I just got another MRI done, and it's basically my back is destroyed. The last surgeon I talked to, I said, what would you tell me if I was your son? And he said, I would tell you to get used to the idea your life is over. That, like, your life as you knew it. He said, your back is destroyed. You got to preserve whatever you can left the rest of your life. He said, because it's only going to get worse from here. And I was like, thanks. But it gave me a little bit of hope,
So your discs and whatnot, like they're all...
Yeah, it's mainly my facet joints, man, have completely worn off. There's no padding. There's no anything. At like 4 levels on my facet joints. So there's no real fixing that. Like, there's no real... He just told me, even I went to Germany and paid this genius doctor that all these celebrities go to. Dana White actually hooked me up with him, told me to go to him. But he basically told me there's only so much we can do. He said you need a new spine, basically, So I don't know.
God bless America.
That's what they told me. That's what they told me. He said, you need a new spine. We don't do total spine replacements yet, but when we do, you'll be the first one we call.
Right. The doctor I went to said, wait for better technology to come along. I was like, well, that helps every day as I suffer. So.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm fucking.
Yeah, that stinks, man.
That's life. That's life. Fuck. I had a fun life.
You still have a fun life.
Look, you pay for it.
So, Don, how's your girlfriend? How's your girlfriend, Don?
How's what?
How's your girlfriend?
I don't know. Crazy as always. Crazy as always. Just batshit crazy on some days.
This is the best podcast ever. I fucking love it. We have
only because Mayhem's on it.
No, because come on, we have McCorkle, Don Fry, and Mayhem. Seriously, you guys, the legends. You guys, did you guys ever fought on the same card, Mayhem and Don?
Nah, unfortunately. Like that was one of my dreams, but no, I never got to fight on the same card.
What was your favorite Don Fry fight? Except for Takayama. Don't say Takayama fight.
Fuck, Takayama was the best though. This shit was hilarious. Like, did you guys have a gentleman's agreement to do that, Don? I never asked you that.
No, we just, if you look, we walk out, punch each other, and he hit me. He kicked me or kneed me and hit me, and I lost my footing. So I had to grab hold of him, keep from going down. And once I grabbed hold of him, then I just, shit, there's a head, So I went out.
He had the exact same idea. Man, yeah, that's legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is the greatest fight of all time.
My nephew saw Don on Joe Rogan's podcast and was asking me about him. I said, have you ever seen him fight? He goes, no. And I sent him the Takayama fight. And my nephew's 19 years old. He sent back a text that, is that real or is that pro wrestling? I was like, no, dude, that was real. He couldn't believe it. He thought it was set up.
Yo, how was that going on Rogan, Fry? Like, how'd you feel about that?
It's good. Rogan's a good guy. Rogan's a really good guy. You know, I had a good time doing that.
Did he offer you any
great, you know?
Did he offer you weed beforehand or no?
No weed, no pills, no nothing. Not even any elk. He didn't offer me any elk. Can you believe that?
That is some bullshit. Well, listen, I think that's our podcast today. This was fun, man. This was a lot of fun. Jason, you look great, man. Really happy for you, man. I obviously I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy about your future, man.
Thanks, man. God bless. Hey, and I heard a lot of people were pissed off that I have a ripped shirt. Like, go fuck yourself.
I think all the things people are mad at you about, that's probably I think you're all right.
Hey, man, the MMA Roast is the best podcast ever. Sean McCurkle is the funniest guy on MMA Roasted, hands down. Don Fry, the man, the myth, the legend, will always be the best guest. Hey, and Adam Hunter, the best host.
Love you guys. Don, Don, your podcast, you and Dan Severn, right? What's it called?
Yeah. It's called Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
And
now we have something else where we have a second part where we read people's comments and mail. It's called Double D's in Your Face.
Now, can I get it? Do you guys have T-shirts yet?
Not yet. But everybody's yelling for them. So
yeah, I want to wear Dan and Don Talk to My T-shirt. But,
couple D's in your face sounds like being in my basement as a kid.
Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.